Good night, good night, good night. Blessings, my people. Love alone. Welcome to another episode of All Over It podcast. Today is episode 57. Yeah, another one, another one. And we talking business. Today's episode is Let's Talk Business. Yeah. So blessings to you, people. Thank you for joining. Thank you for viewing. I appreciate the love, appreciate the support, and just know it don't go unnoticed. Yeah. But yeah, welcome back. Another week, another episode. As you know, keeping consistent and I consistently bringing you value. So if it's things you like, if it's good things, if it's something you feel can be helpful for somebody else, give it a like, give it a share, give it a everything. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah, leave a comment. Leave a comment in the chat. Let me know who they are. And we just rock. We rock in. Yeah. Another day, another episode. Another day, another dollar. That is it. That is it. One thing I could say, this week that passed was a very powerful week for me, personally and professionally. You know, something I can talk about some more later on in this episode is this week I attended the DCALFA Conference. Well, I should say last week because it's Monday, a new week now. So yeah, last week I attended the DCALFA Conference, which was right here in St. Maarten. Yeah. So for those who've been rocking with me from last year, you'll know last year I was in Bonaire for the DCALFA Conference. And this year it was in St. Maarten. God bless. So one thing I'll say too, and I'll be honest, this week kind of reminded me of why I love business much, So I just say I had to come on here, kind of do a little reflection with you guys, bring you guys along for the journey. Because we are on a journey. We are on a journey. So I just bring you along for my plain and simple. So yeah, like I say, last week was powerful. Had the DCALFA conference, which was basically like a full circle moment for me, but nonetheless, it was a pleasure to have the DCALFA conference here in St. Maarten. It was a pleasure to have the persons, the participants, the different people from the different islands and different countries here in St. Maarten enjoying our lovely, beautiful island, St. Maarten. Yeah. That's love. Check. So, yeah, most I could say is, like I say, it was honestly a full circle moment for me, from Bonaire to St. Maarten last year, like I say, exactly around the same time I was in Bonaire. I traveled to Bonaire, I think on the 23rd. And yeah, they had the conference down there for a week, just the same. And it was very exciting. It was nice for me, a great experience, my first time being there. And yeah, just all in all, a great experience. The environment was great, ambiance, the love, the camaraderie was real, like everything was just amazing. So I just wanted to bring up and show you guys quick. I actually did a video about the trip. So if you go to my Oliver and Junior Williams YouTube page, you could actually find a video entitled Touching Soil in Bonaire. And in this video, I show the various aspects. So I touch on the agriculture a little bit. I show like some of the places we visited, but I also showed like the kind of tourist side of things, I'd say, because like I say, it was my first time there, so I wanted to make sure I get to experience the place. So like I say, if you want to get to know Bonaire a little bit, I literally even show the geographical location of it, all of that good stuff. If you want to get an idea of my trip to Bonaire last year, whereas I went to the same conference, you could check out this video, Touching Soil in Bonaire, on my YouTube page. Yeah. Additionally, I have my All Over It podcast, whereas episode 3 and episode 4 was about my trip to Bonaire. So honestly, like I say, full circle moment, reflecting back on a year that has passed, literally checking back like this is when I started this podcast journey, you know, episode 3, episode 4 was about when I was over there. So episode 3, which was entitled Invest in Yourself, that was when I was there in Bonaire self. I had to, make shift their hotel room, hope that the internet was good enough, set up in a way that I could be seen, heard, and only God knows. No. Only God knows all the things that go through for you, and yeah, people doesn't see the behind the scenes, they just see what they get to see. But yeah, God knows all that is going into it. But that's basically what this episode is all about too. The behind the scenes and the real about what really does go on behind the scenes of business. So like I say, episode 3, invest in yourself. And episode 4 was touching soil in Bonaire, development, agriculture, and inspiration. So that one was more about, okay, Bonaire, I show like how it looked. I show pictures, videos of while I was there. I talk about agriculture and all of that good stuff. Inspiration. Yeah. So, like I say, All Over It podcast, episode 3, invest in yourself. As you could see, I was in the people hotel room, lighting horrible, can't even barely see my face good. I had to use the nice parrot picture as my backdrop. And yeah, like I say, we made it work. And then episode 4 was when I was there. So I show like literally where it is on the map. Like I say, I show different pictures. Yeah. You get an idea. So if you're interested in finding out about my trip to Bonaire when I went down there and all that good stuff, you could go and check out those couple videos. And yeah, get a feel for Bonaire, get an understanding of what a DCALFA conference was about and is about. And yeah, you could check out the website and all that good stuff. Yeah. But bottom line, like I show you my Bonaire vlog that I put together, my previous podcast episodes from Bonaire and about when I was down there. The idea is, like I say, full circle moment. last year, around the same time, last week of May, I was in Bonaire attending the DCALFA Conference, agricultural conference, if you will, which is all about food security and sustainability and bolstering the agricultural sector, which is agriculture, livestock, and fisheries, not just planting. Now, this was a special moment for me. Like I said, this was a powerful week because last year I attended as a participant. I learned, I networked, I went and I experienced. It was a great experience. Like I say, inspiring, uplifting. Honestly, after being there, I came back here with like a fire under my foot, ready to like encourage my fellow farmers and show them like, look, things is happening for us in the agricultural sector, So it was a great experience. But now this year, the conference came to St. Maarten. Was in St. Maarten. Yeah, my place. So I was still involved, but my business was actually supplying products for the events. So yeah, that was powerful. That was powerful. Like I say, full circle, but like it's amazing to see like attendee to supplier. Last year, I was so carefree, I was in a different country. I was on vacation. So wow, I just going to the conference activities, whether it's presentations or if we went field trip or if we got go dinner or whatever. I go to that and I go back to the hotel room. Maybe in the night I go out, see what the nightlife is like, enjoy some, festivities and thing. But other than that, I was there, in another country. So it ain't to say like I could just jump in my car, go check my people, whatever. But here it was a little different. So I would say I call that progression, like that's progression. That ain't overnight success and that ain't luck for sure. That's progress. Because last year, like I said, I was attending. This year, I was participating in a different way. Of course, I still made sure I participated as much as I could, but given the circumstances, given the fact that I had to deliver, I had this order, I had to bring these products, I had to deliver. I was, busy, busy. So basically, the opportunity that was presented to me, I was chosen to cater. So I had a catering order, if you will. So Oliqui Farms, my business, was selected to provide beverages for the dinner that they had for the conference event, which I did touch on this a little bit last week. So last week's episode, I came on, I gave value, of course. I gave a nice episode, but I made sure mention that, me and my team here are working and I can keep it short because I got to get back to work, I got to show up here because this is also, part of my discipline, staying consistent on my podcast. However, gotta handle business, gotta execute the check. So yeah, like I say, Oliqui Farms was selected to provide the beverages for this dinner. And for me, it was an honor. And my main priority was just make sure I execute, make sure I deliver all these products, and make sure everything is done to a proper standard, following proper sanitation and proper hygienic procedures. I had my standard operating procedures I put together. I shared that with my team and we executed. I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel so proud. I feel so proud of my team for how we handled this week. But I'll come back to that. But bottom line, this was a significant order. Like, we were requested to provide beverages, so the drinks for the dinner, the whole dinner. So I was told they're going to have approximately 80 people in attendance to the dinner. And yeah, we got to make sure cover all of that. We got to make sure have enough, make sure have so that everybody could get, like I said, I provided the drinks for the dinner. I provided the beverages for the people to consume with their meal when they sit down and eat. You check? So I'll be honest and straight. The night of the dinner, it did have like beers as well, and it had water, it had a few bottles of wine, it even had some soda, like Coke and Sprite and thing. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, those things did get used here and there, but my products fly off the shelf. I ain't gonna flex it. People really went for it. Like, yeah, people got the message and they really followed and they enjoyed. God bless. But yeah, so like I say, it was a large order for 80 people. We had to provide, like I say, all the juices. We provided natural juices and we provided our signature cream liqueur, Poncho Swaliga. So yeah, like I say, large order. It was passion fruit juice, tamarind juice, coconut water. Shortly, almost coming up to the event, end up adding fruit punch as well. So I end up having to do a fruit punch as well. And then, yeah, like I say, our Poncho Swaliga drink, which was our cream liqueur, 3 different flavors we have. We have an original flavor, a pistachio, and a coconut. So, like I say, big order, significant responsibility, because, like I say, this is what the people are going to be drinking. This is what the people are going to be drinking for their dinner, to wash their food down, So I felt, I'll say, some real pressure, but I ain't leave the pressure get to me. I just allowed it to push me and make sure that I execute and deliver successfully, execute with excellence. I always tell her, check. So yeah, when this was proposed to me, like I say, I was told, okay, I'm gonna need to do for 80 people. So I was requested to put together the invoice, meaning like decide how much would be necessary to accommodate these people and all these different things. Like, yeah. So I do my calculations and okay, you know, this amount of people, they can probably drink this amount and, you know, do my calculations. Like, you know me, you could go back in a couple episodes, you know, I just sit down, do my numbers, I just sit down, figure things out. So even with that, I sit down and I do my calculation to see, okay, how much of each product I should do, you know, what quantity, how much everything I should do so that I could make sure it's not too much, but still not too little. You know, you don't want that you do, let me say, 10 bottles of each, and then by the time they reach halfway through the food or before they even eat the food, all the drinks done. You don't want that. But then also, you don't want that a bunch of things leave over, and then now you got to figure out how we're going to work. Check. Which, okay, I did run into a situation in that shortly before the event had finished, I did have some of the stuff in my coolers still, but yeah, all of that get resolved. But we're gonna talk about all of that later in the episode when I reach to that section. But yeah, like I said, I do my calculations, I calculate the quantities, I sit down, I do like a budget, I calculate, okay, how much these different things can cost for me to create all these different products, you know, how much it can cost me to go and gather the source all the ingredients and prepare all these different things. I do my groundwork, bottom line. I sit down, I do my budget or how much it'll be, and then from there, when it was time for me to go and do my sourcing of my ingredients, I don't have like a baseline. So I do that as well too, so that if they had anything that I could like save on, I could see how I could, like, let me say, minimize my expenses and maximize profit. You check? Good. So yeah, beforehand, like I say, all that was preparation, making sure we know what all we need, we have everything we need, all the equipment and material too. So let me say like the buckets, the strainers, the everything, every single thing. Check. Buying certain thing in bulk so that instead of just going and buying it in the shop and paying like retail price, we get like a more bulk price where or like a wholesale price. So like I say, you make certain savings. But then too, in reality, you might save one place, but then you end up spending a little more in another place. So rightfully it is even out sometimes, but you're trying your best to minimize your costs so you can maximize your profits. Check. One thing that was a concern too before like actually creating these products was storage. You know, we was checking like okay, we got a couple fridge and thing, got space, you know, but we're checking we hope that it's going to be enough space to accommodate, to hold all these different things, which I could probably say it did. Got like maybe 3 fridge. We only use 2 really, you know. So yeah, that was a positive. Still had space in the next one. We could have still do more, to be honest. But anyways, that ain't the point right now. For sure though, we load up. And I gotta show y'all like I gotta show you like keeping it real with that here, you know. Like I really giving you like the behind the scenes of what went on last week here right now. Check. But just know that opportunity sounds exciting until it's time to deliver. When it's time to deliver, then is when the pressure will be on, and You just have to know how to maneuver and how to pivot and how to, make things happen. Sometimes you might have a plan, but then things don't go as planned. And then you got to shift and make sure you could still execute and reach to that finish line. So all of that I went through this week, like we gotta talk about it, man. We gotta talk about it. So yeah, if I gotta move on and say execution under pressure, that's what I just what we are talking about. Now, this year was serious. This year was a very serious thing this week because God knows this week was pressure. And like being busy, still trying to attend the conference sessions, managing the operations, of course, being physically drained and, still delivering. Even one thing I didn't mention last week, really, or, like something that was a hamper that I still managed to push through with was, I had like this cut. Bye. If you could see, like, I got this cut right here, the joint of my index finger, like, so the week before, I actually was doing some work, doing some garden, on the farm, and I ended up getting a chop, literally, like, right in the joint. And what was a crazy thing? I checked in, like, right before the week of this conference where I gotta deliver these things. Got myself hampered, like I can't, like, now I could like move my finger and like do my thing, but like I had to like keep it straight and make sure, I leave it like scab over because it was of course bleeding. Bye. But Jano, pressure. So Allah, like, that's why I gotta really give gratitude to my team, because there was really a big help. Like Jano, I was there and I push, injury or not. I was there, I was involved, I make things happen, but I could say with conviction that I could not execute this myself, and I'm very grateful for my team, and especially with my injury, that there was like a added hamper, and yeah, like I said, I could not execute without my team. So I gotta big up my team. But that coming soon too. I can talk about all of that in this episode too. Yeah, check. But yeah, execution under pressure. I don't even know. Like people don't see, like I tell you, they just see the finished product, they just see when you execute, they just see when you do it, but they don't see the hurdles, the setbacks, the uncertainty, the things that keep you up at night, the things that on your brain want stress you. That you're under the pressure. Coffee song say, telling you, like, one of my biggest hurdles or setbacks to execute this order or execute that this week was the bottles, the glass bottles that I ordered. That was a whole ordeal by itself. And only God, that's one thing I could tell you. Only God knows. Look, we don't like to do things without God. We don't feel like we is the ones who dealing with things and making things happen. But look, only God knows. Only with God and only with the grace of God can we really see ourselves through. But But look, like I tell you, given the hurdles, the setbacks, the uncertainty I faced this week, and even before that, I really gotta give thanks and gratitude to my team, and I gotta really point out the fact that like you really gotta be committed, you gotta be disciplined, and when you have a good team with you, teamwork to make the dream work. Like that common line, say that famous line goes, it's true. Check like when you got a good team of people with you, you could do anything. You check real talk. Like, but one thing I'll say, business isn't about having no problems. Business is about solving problems. So I always tell her, yeah, all about solving problems. They are problem solver. I am solution oriented. So as soon as I see something like it trying to rear its ugly head as a problem, I done studying, okay, what's the solution for that? So tell me why. Like I say, I was done busy trying to make sure participating in the conference, attending the conference sessions and activities, but still had to make sure my team had what they need, doing what we gotta do, and if anything, I dare to help us get things move fast and move forward. Good. Before last week even come, like I tell you, I did my preparations. I sit down, I do my calculations of what all I gonna need. I speak to the customer, and the customer, we decide, okay, this is what the number is going to be. We kind of lock in what the invoice is going to look like. So I start to source my products. I know, and I tell myself, because I tell you now, this was a powerful week. This was a big week. I tell myself, I have to get my own glass bottles and finalize the label so I could put onto these bottles. Good. This was the first time that our company did our cream liqueur in our own bottles. For that, yeah, we're doing things. You check, like I'm telling you, all the time we've been just using other rum bottles, whether it's Cortez, whether it's Campari, whether it's Boulogne, whether it's whatever. We've been getting rum bottles from other rum brands, and we using those to, let me say, prepare our cream liqueur product and pour it into those bottles. So from the beginning, when this was proposed to me, when this offer or this order was placed, I say I cannot come to this reusing no other rum bottle. Truthfully, this been a long time coming. Honestly, I think from last year, I was already talking to people, already starting to develop a label and working on sourcing bottles. But one thing I'll say, and this is one thing I'll share with you from that I facing in my business. Sourcing glass bottles here locally is a very difficult task. I cannot get glass bottles that I need here locally. Start with that. Like they have a company that's like a restaurant and hotel equipment supplier. They sell all kind of different things, but they don't have like a glass bottle like that. They have like like oil, you know, like maybe olive oil or different oils, bottles, like glass bottles for that. But they have one that's like for beverages, let me say like that. Good. It doesn't have a local glass bottle supplier, whereas you could go there and get brand new unused glass bottles. Good. And I mean dot side and front side. I feel like I could say this with conviction. If anybody here watching and they know of anywhere I could get specifically 1 liter glass bottles, honestly, even if it ain't for beverages, once it like good enough, meaning like if I could go there and check it out and I could make things work. So if it's good enough, I could make it work. If you know anywhere in St. Maarten that me, and not only me, could get glass bottles locally, let me know. Because I promise you, I will share the knowledge. I will not gatekeep. Because even I have had conversations with other, let me say, small manufacturing businesses here, people making other products, you know, like other beverages or even like creams or, you know, different things that they put in glass bottles, even wines and all these different things. I have spoken to more than one, at least 3 different companies that make products here locally, and all of them tell me the same thing. They have to order the bottles, and yeah, bottles difficult to get, expensive, and all of this good stuff. Yeah. So that is a big difficulty that I face here locally. And okay, I could say that I have gotten some better sources, not locally, but I do have options now, more options than I did before, at least I could say. But still, it is a difficult task. Now, like I say, one of the hurdles was the bottles. Sourcing them first of all, but then even after I get a good link to get them, the process of me getting them, the logistics, all of that was a whole run around by itself. Like, honestly, uncertainty, its highest level, and honestly had me a little stressing, checking like, by what I gonna do. I gonna have to go buy other bottles, even though I don't order these bottles already, and pay for it. And then on top of that, when they reach, the freight I had to pay was basically as much as I paid for the bottles themselves, and I had to pay the people who, you know, went and get them for me. So, hi, Jano, only Jano, no. Hi. Only Jano what people will go through to make these things happen. And you know, I went through all of that with the bottles and the stickers. Okay, granted, stickers is a lot smaller, a lot easier to make, a lot easier to send and transport. But like, honestly, I finalized the stickers the week before, the labels, and put in the order for the stickers maybe like the Tuesday, Wednesday before. And by Friday I had them. You check? And I didn't do expedited. I just have, I could say for that, I had a different shipping company I use, whereas they have like air freight as well. Like I say, it was a smaller thing, so I could have take that route for that. Couldn't do that where the battles is concerned for sure. But the freight and that would be hard. Anyways, like we talking about pressure, and I just have to share like this story with you about these battles, because trust and believe, execution under pressure. Like the event was last week, Wednesday, which was the 27th. I order those battles from like the beginning of the month. I send that money. I should have checked back when I send the money before I talk the story. But yeah, just know, from the beginning of the month, I send the money. Okay, cool. That week, the person who I was dealing with was ill. So, okay, they didn't get to go and deal with everything. But still, that was still 2 weeks before the actual event. And I made sure I stress that no matter what, once it reaches the week of the 18th to the 22nd, once I check in, once it reaches the week before, no problem. It don't matter. So, like I say, consider like around the week of the 4th to the 8th, which is the first week of May. I send that money. Okay, under the weather, understandable. I check in. Once you could get her on the boat the week of the 11th to the 15th, it could be here by the week of the 18th to the 19th. I can take a week. Good. You can leave 1 week and reach here the following week. Good. Cool. No problem. Tell me why. It still end up leaving the week of the 11th to the 15th. So it reached the shipping company in time. It supposedly had leave that week of the 11th to the 15th. Now, last week, well, not last week, the week before the conference, so the week of the 18th to the 22nd, I check in, I get in my box. I check in, I get in my bottles. Because I don't get picture, like from since the 18th, I get a picture of my box with my box number and everything. So I check in, okay, good. I get in my things. Cool. Tell me why I went there to the shipping place on the 20th, the Wednesday. The woman tell me, yeah, the boat ain't reached yet, and if anything, come back Friday, which was the 22nd. Cool. Now I can be honest to her. I say I would have go to 22nd, but I wait to get the call. I ain't get no call, so I did not go. I say, you know what, let me give them that extra day. Saturday morning, bright and early, 8 o'clock, I went down there. I lie. Saturday I didn't go. Monday. The 23rd, I get up, I do some stuff around here, and I went down there. Be around 10:30, 11 or so. Tell me why the people gonna still tell me, yeah, the boat still ain't reach. It reaching Monday. Now I vex because, like I tell the people that sending the things, I need that before the week of the 25th. Now you telling me, yeah, I can get them the morning of the 25th set, which is the same week of the event. I tell you, just make sure I get them thing the week before the week of the event. Still end up coming the Monday before the event, which was the Wednesday. So keep in mind, from that Saturday I done in my mind checking by, I might have to end up going and buying some other bottles. But like I say, thing on the way locally, I could get that. Monday morning, I actually called the company that has deal with the, like I say, the hotel and restaurant equipment and thing. I called them to see if they had anything I could use. Because for nothing good, I did not want to use no plastic bottles for my cream liqueur. I guess you could tell the frustration. I telling you, when I went there Saturday, and that woman tell me the 23rd, when I went there the 23rd, and that woman tell me Monday, like one thing I could say I'm proud of myself, I did a good job at keeping my composure. I ain't like flip out or nothing. Like I just checking like, yo, you tell me Monday, then I come Wednesday, you tell me, you see, I have to show you how frustrated it get me. It got me tripping up all now. Anyways, I was very frustrated because I check in like the back and forth, the run around, that's wasting my time, wasting my gas, wasting my money, wasting everything. Check. So like I said, I went there the 23rd, the Saturday, they tell me, yeah, Monday the boat coming. I already thinking by I gonna have to find an alternative. So Monday morning, bright and early, I gone down there. Because now they don't throw me off already now. Because rightfully, the main reason why I tell my people I needed them the week before is because I already done plan with my team for us to meet up the Sunday so that we could start to work on these things on the Sunday, which the cream liqueur is what we was going to work on first because it's like a cream based, like an egg based product, and it'll have to settle. So you can't just make it today for tomorrow. You have to make it, let me say today, leave it settle overnight, like 24 hours, and then you top it up and it's ready for the load. Good. So, like I said, I done plan with my team, tell them if anything, we're gonna meet up Sunday, such and such time, we're gonna start get these things going. I send them the SOP so they could know, okay, this is the operating procedure. We're gonna make sure sanitize these bottles in this way. We're gonna make sure do this in this way. Good. Now you gonna come tell me, yeah, both ain't come. You gotta come back Monday. That don't throw me off already. That right there in itself don't throw me off already. Like the whole situation threw me off, but like now it affecting and setting other things back. You check? So now, like I say, gone there Saturday, get this news. My people them done checking, they come in Sunday. So now I have to go call the team, talk to the different people, checking, look, okay, due to circumstances, we can't do Sunday again. We're gonna have to do Monday. Like I tell you, I don't had plans. I check in. I want to attend the conference, participate. I know people gonna be asking for me. I gonna want to see some of the people then when that I saw last year. Throw me out. But what? That's business. That's the most I could say to that. You know, that's like I say in business, you have to pivot. Sometimes situations does arise and you have to just make it work. You know, you have to turn twist, like thinking like you're trying to fit through a tight space. You have to like, you know, like move yourself and like squeeze yourself through till you get through to the other side. You check like that's business. Like think on like basketball. Like you gotta pivot on one foot because you can't move and think, and then you get walking, and then there's the other ball, the other team ball. So you gotta pivot with one foot, and then when you see that shot, you just blam, take it. You check. Yeah. I look. Just know, them battles was a big hurdle for me. God bless. All I could do is give God thanks and praise and grace and worship because When I got on there the 25th, now Monday morning, like I tell you now, this is the Monday before the event, which is Wednesday. I wake up, man, before my alarm. It's like I tell you, the uncertainty in my head. I could have barely sleep. I wake up early checking by battles. That's just all on my mind. I get up, gone down there straight. Ain't even brush my teeth, to be honest. Just how I jump out of the bed, I put on clothes and I went there to check. Gone there, still a story. Spanish woman want to tell me and show me that kind of thing. And okay, she had somebody there that speak English, so they want to explain me. And honestly, I understand everything she explained me. And I understand the situation is logistics. Like, they ain't really her fault. It's out of her hands. It's just the logistics. The boat ain't reach it. Make another stop. Things happen. But it's just frustrating that it had to happen to me now at that time. All the time, it coming every week on the button. Now this time, just that my box on this boat, big run around and now it's some nonsense and headache and stupidness, you check? So, yeah, man, I had to show the woman, like, look, I understand where you're coming from and I understand it in you. It affecting you as well, too, because you got your things them you need to receive as well, like you need to deal with. But understand, like, although it's affecting you right now, it's affecting me very drastically because I need this. You check? I can't do with it next week. I can't do with it a couple days from now. I need it now. You check? So I hear where you're coming from and I understand what you're saying. You check? But I need a solution for me now. I need these things like yesterday, not even today, now. I need it now. You check? So the most what they check in, look, if anything, they take my number, they tell me if anything, keep in mind, I reached there before 8, but yeah. Basically, they tell me the boat's supposed to reach to St. Maarten 8 o'clock. And then, of course, you know, you got a whole process, the offloading, customs, and then it's still got to get transported to their location. Then they got to offload their containers, and then I'll get signed on my box. So, long story short, they take my number and they check in like, yeah, they're going to call me once they see my box. Once they open up the container and my box is in sight, they're going to call me. So, yeah, long story short, I end up leaving from there, handle some other business. Had another order I had to take care of for an individual and dealt with that, get everything organized for that, get myself ready to go to the conference, went drop off the order, then went to the conference. When I reached the conference, doing my thing, you know, mingling, like I said, like connecting, networking. I ain't see these people in a while. So, you know, from time I walk in the door, they check, hey, what? That would they call me. Check. So even interrupt the whole presentation and everything, like I felt a little bad. But anyways, like that year was a big haul for me. Like I say, I end up having to shift. Even because of that, I had to now organize the team to come Monday instead of Sunday because we needed the battles to actually get started. So even because they ain't come in the morning, I had to wait till the people call. The people call me maybe around 12, tell me they received their stuff. Then around maybe 1 telling me like, yeah, I could come for my box. So I just, you know, I mingled there a little bit. After lunch, I left, went deal with my business. So all of that, I had to arrange with my team. So all of that is pushing back. And, you know, you, as a management, you got to deal with different people and make sure deal with schedules, all these different things I doing. Good, so I understand. Because now, like I say, we don't schedule a time, things get pushed back. So now I gotta deal with this schedule, make sure, and then it still get pushed back again. So I had to make sure that everything still good, make sure they could still come, had to organize, arrange transportation to go pick them up, all kind of thing. So while I at the conference, I getting calls about these battles. I calling my team, making sure, let me say, the helper get pick up and all these different things. And yeah, before I even reach home with the battles, they done prepping, making sure everything clean and ready, sanitized and whatnot. Like sanitize the station, workstation and everything, so that when I come with the battles, it's just, yeah, don't check. So people don't know. People don't know where to go through. You check. God bless. Like I say, I had a good team with me. Even though things get pushed back in that way, was able to still execute. You know, that Monday, I come home with the battles, bring them inside. They had already, like I say, had a proactive jump on me, whereas they had already cleaned up everything, make sure everything sanitize in the workstation, make sure all the equipment we're going to use clean and pre-wash and all these things. And just, yeah, everything ready to go. You check all the ingredients and everything place up. So all I had to do, come bring them in let me say, in a work kitchen in a way that, you know, kind of flows. Cause that'll be a big thing for me too. I like to do my work in a structured manner. I don't just do things haphazard, any kind of how. Like when I setting up my station, I set it up so that everything does flow. Like I don't want to, let me say, I cracking eggs here, then I gotta go over there to the bottles, then I gotta go over here to full it. Nah, everything running smooth. Like it's a flow. You start here, you do this here, then the next step there, then it end over here. Proper structure, organized workflow. I love doing things like that. So, like I tell you, my team was proactive. I really have to show appreciation for how we executed this week because, like I say, without them, I would not be able to execute this. Like, maybe I could have get it done, but it would have been a lot of strain on me because it was done strain on me with what I like do already. You check, but yeah, like I say, had to pivot with these battles. And then, to be honest, when the battles come, I was a little disappointed in how they was, but yeah, I can leave that part for the end, you know. But yeah, like I said, business having no problems, but business is about solving problems, knowing how to pivot, knowing how to still make things happen even in the face of adversity, you know. So that's why I had to share that story with you because, you know, it could be any of us. And maybe my story was battles, but maybe your story is about bins, or maybe your story is about some food product that you need, or whatever it is. You know, we all face hurdles and setbacks. It's just about how we handle them, how we bounce back from them, how we overcome them, you know. But yeah, gratitude for my team. One thing, I gotta give recognition to my mother. Big up my mother one time. Bless up yourself one time. Matter of fact, my mother could get an applause. Yeah. Love, love, love to marry A. Craytoff Williams. Yeah, Williams Craytoff, however she wants to. Just applause, applause, you know. I gotta big up my mother, Mary, for first of all, the recipe, because rightfully that cream liqueur is hot. You know, she used to make it. I learned the recipe and I check in, look, we could do something with this. We have family that did us rave about it. Like literally from the first time they taste it, they start ordering bottles every time they have a event, and yeah, like it's a thing, you know. So I saw the value in it, and I said this could be a big thing. So that's why I'm running with it. But I gotta give her recognition because rightfully this all started with her, you know. And last week I big up my team, and I big up Nadine, I big up Kwame, I big up Gilly, I big up Joe, I big up different people, and like I tell you, last week's episode we was working. It was last week Monday, so busy day. I went do all of that, deal with these people with this order, went deal with the when I say the order, I mean the battles, deal with my customer for the order that was placed, still do the podcast. I had to prepare the podcast stuff, send that out, check, then come home, help with the work, and then take a time away to do this, jump on a podcast. And then still after I jump off of here, I went right back to work. And we was there till like after 10. We pushed that Monday night after 10, almost going on 11. You check walking. And then my helper still had to go home. Of course, I still had to clean up. Of course, my helper helped me clean up and thing and get things prepared basically for the next day. And yeah, bye. Look, Jano. But yeah, long story short, from last week, we was here working, and all when I was on this live, my mother and my team was over there putting in the work, I like I say, I was doing my part. I do a good bit of it before I come to the podcast. I tell her, if anything, she could go rest herself, and me and my helper knock out a good bit. But like I say, I come to the podcast, they was working still. And I big up everybody. And when I done, when I gone back to work, my mother checking I quit. You big up everybody except for me. You shout out your whole team, you shout out this one, you shout out that one, but you shout out me, your old mother. I quit. I check in for what you talking. It's me and you in this, you partner. So I mean, it's me and you. Yeah. Always big you up. So one little episode, you can get a little big up thing out your man. Nah, but on a real low, I gotta give some recognition, some shout out, some gratitude, some love and blessings going out to my mother, Mary Williams. Great stuff. Check for making me the man I is, or her part in making me the man I is. And like I say, recognition for us being on this cream liqueur journey, and yeah, for her help and all that she does do. Check, love alone, blessings, big up yourself, shout out Mary one time, and for that she get one more applause. So at least she can't say I ain't shout out this time. But anyways, like I said, yeah, when she tell it to me, I ain't shout out, mommy. But like I said, she always getting shout out, she always getting big up. But true and two, normally she'll leave a little comment and thing, let me know she there, so I'll shout her out and thing, but like, so they are watching in the shadows, but same ways too, technically I shout her out too then, because I did mention like, yeah, shout out to the people who watching in the shadows and thing too. Yeah. But anyways, gotta big up my team, my mother for sure. Like I say, Nadine, Kwame. Yeah, Kwame helped me out a lot. Big up Kwame. Love alone, my brother. Self, you check. Everybody who played a role in making this happen. I even got a big up Rose because yeah, she was a person who reached out to me and part of the team that gave me this opportunity. So big up DC Alpha organization to one time for the opportunity, gratitude and love and blessings. Yeah, because yeah, if DC Alpha didn't have the conference, I wouldn't have this opportunity. So like I said, big up the DC Alpha team one time. Shout out to them. Shout out to the organizers, the team that put it together. I gotta answer that one, you know. But the team that put it together, just the whole logistics team and everybody that was involved. Big thank you and gratitude and love to all the people that participated, that tasted any of the products, whether it be the cream liqueur, whether it be the juices, whatever it is, you know. Um, yeah, just love alone, self to you, my people, you know. Allah, you play a big role, and it's love alone. Like I say, without you, it would not be possible. Without you, is no podcast. Without you, is no Oliqui Farms. Yeah, all that good stuff, you know. So, like I say, I give thanks to everybody who played a role. And one thing for sure, many people only see the finished product, but they don't see the preparation, they don't see the planning, the checklist, the idea, the organizing, the budgeting, the cleaning, the packing, the transporting, the coordination, just coordinating people in itself is a task. So yeah, gratitude and love to my team, you know, and one thing I could say, nobody build anything meaningful alone, you know, so you need a good team behind you. And honestly, it's funny, full circle, like I say, when I was in Bonaire last year, I remember I find myself sitting down, like after all the activities and sessions, I kind of had like start reflecting and thinking about things and thinking about how like impactful and inspirational the week had been last year when I was in Bonaire. And I find myself thinking about how strong the networking was and the connection and communication. And like I keep saying, like from last year, the way how we connected and how easy and quick it was for us to build those connections. Like it was amazing. Like I found myself saying people would be amazed, or let me say bystanders, outsiders, people who are not involved in the conference, people who just maybe in the hotel or by the places we go. They would probably swear we long time friends for years. Like they would probably swear like we know each other for long years, and you know, it's like we just meeting back up now. So, you know, it's like you're reconnecting. But a lot of the people that I met last year in Bonaire, I met for the first time, and we we built a connection and a bond like brothers. And it had me saying like, God have a funny way of bringing your people to you. God have a funny way of like bringing your tribe, your team to you. You know, like think on like like a lion just wandering in the wilderness by itself, get lost from wherever pack, maybe something happen and you the only one, and you're lost in the wilderness by yourself. You're trying to make it through, you're just trying to make it, but then you bounce upon like one other lion by itself too. And sometimes it might be a little turmoil, but then I realize, what, we gotta stick it out together because we are okay in this together by ourselves, together, type of vibe. And long story short, you build your tribe over time like that. Like sometimes it will be one by one, or sometimes many at a time, but like I say, God have a funny way of bringing your people, bringing your tribe, bringing your team in your life. And when that happen, it is be amazing. The doors are open for you, so nobody builds anything meaningful alone. And that's why I had to big up my mother one time. And then, yeah, she did in a chat, you check, so silent. Yeah, I love it. Oh, wow. Yeah, you can't tell me nothing this week, self. Nah, but you don't know. Love alone. I love you. Down my heart. Check. Gotta give you gratitude for sure. You know? Gratitude to daddy one time too. Maybe he ain't here with us, but love alone to all of us senior self. Yeah, because that man play a big role in the man I am today. Check. Anyways, one thing I could say, the feedback from these products was positive. Like positive. Now don't get me wrong, they had like one or two little small fine tuning that's necessary, But all in all, the feedback was positive. People enjoyed the products. The conversation after the event, or even at the event after they taste it, was amazing. Different people take my number, they check in, they like it, they love the presentation, they like the taste, they check in why. A little thick, but they like it, or they checking why kind of strong. Other people checking by, they would drink this and throw a little more rum on it, and they checking, well, to each their own. You check. But yeah, for sure I could say the feedback was positive, and I'm appreciative too of the team of Gary's Catering, specifically the bartender fella. Honestly, I didn't even catch his name. I just really checking now. But I'm gonna like big up to he too one time. Like he catch the message, he had the idea, he knew what the mission was, and he executed as well. Like, because God bless too, me and my team did not have to serve the products. How it was, the event had like a team that was catering the food, and God bless, they also had somebody there to be like a bartender, somebody that was serving the drinks as well too. So that made things a lot more reasonable for me and my team, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, the feedback was great. Even the bartender himself, he checking, wow, that product great, them products great, what he doing is great, he love it. All when people come and he promote it, he had it line up. So matter of fact, let me share the screen. Let me take a little quick. Bam. So this was me Wednesday night. I check in, man. I come back to the bar really with the intention to tell partner, look, okay, I know you got water, you got beers and all these other things, but make sure you promote these local natural things them first. And before I even come back and tell it to him, like when I come back, I see the line off and I check in like, but wait, But you playing. I check in with you. Don't play with you. I both see my check in, yo. Watch out. Look at Oliqui Farm products, yes. Big lineup. You see, made in St. Maarten, big and broad right at the bottom. Yeah, man. Hey, that make me feel good, set. Like, no lie, when I come back by the bar with the intention to tell Pano, like, yo, make sure you're promoting these local things before you're promoting them other thing now. And I come and I see them line up there, I check in, yeah, I love it. I love that. And while I was there, people come, he promoting it, he checking, yeah, try this. This is the partner who make it self. And, the people who know me, let me say like the participants of the conference that already know me, they check, yeah, wata, Oliver, you make that? Yeah, man, me and my team make it. And, it was love. Like, proud moment, like, great reaction, great feedback. Everybody that come checking what, they love it. A fella, Sherman, big up Sherman from Aruba. Keep in mind now, he don't drink. But he call me checking, wata, you make that? Give me a bottle self to go with back by the table. And the bartender gave him a bottle and he went with a whole bottle back by the table. I don't think he drink it. He probably just bring it by the table so they could drink it. But yeah, man, it was love. Like I tell you, numerous of the participants of the conference, whether that day, whether the days after, they come, they check in what. They love the punch, the cream liqueur. They like what I'm doing. They love the bottle and the presentation. They tell me keep it up. They even had some, like I say, customers checking like, yeah, they take my number so they could contact me. People checking like different business opportunities. Let me say like that. Even people checking like, yeah, I could sell that in shop and thing, all kind of thing. Check. So it was really good feedback, and like I say, even though things went so well, and I'll say so well because it really went good, I still notice areas for improvement. I saw small lessons and I still saw opportunities, So one thing I'll say, success doesn't mean that there's nothing to improve. Success means that you're moving in the right direction, that you're doing things right, people recognizing what you're doing, but now you gotta stay consistent and keep pushing for what you're doing, So like I say, these some of the pictures. This is some of the pictures close up I took before we went to the event, so like after we had already bottled everything, when they was getting labeled, I said, let me take a nice picture, the different flavors and, just nice presentation. This is a picture of, like I say, we pull out everything. So as you can see up here, the freezer was full and all. So that was like the overflow. And then here you got like all the passion fruit. You got the fruit punch down here at the bottom. Then down at the bottom of the fridge was like two of the different flavors of the Poncho Swaliga. And then in the next fridge was all the tamarind, one of the other flavors of Poncho Swaliga at the top. So this was one. I had 12 here. And then 24 here. So 12 of each flavor. And then all the other juices. Like I say, the passion fruit was like overflow. And yeah, this was after we had finished the passion fruit. Oh, this is a donation I do, which I'll talk about just now, but we're going to come back to that. But yeah, like I say, this had really warmed my heart. When I had come and Pana had the things them done line off, I check in like, wow. Yeah, man, I rate that. I rate you. And it felt good to see that. Like it felt like, yeah, man, Oliqui Farms doing things. Like, yeah. Making strides. Like just to come and see our products line off there was a real heartwarmer. me say like, so yeah, what can I say? Some realizations that this experience has taught me. I enjoy this model. Like I say, they had things I could improve on. One thing that I could improve on, a lot of people was complaining about the flavor, seeing the flavor better. So I put the flavor here as like a kind of little tag or piece on the right side, but people checking like they didn't know which one was original versus coconut. So something to look into, make another variation of this low label, whereas maybe it have it more prominent, more bigger somewhere, whereas they could see what it is self. But for a first draft, I feel great about how it come out. One thing I could say too, these battles are going to be taking a different direction with these battles is concerned. The battles, them, first of all, it was nice, it was cool. I like the design of the battle, they make everything come out nice and look good, but they had some defects. So the cap had a little issue, like when I would twist it on, for some of them, the cap would like twist off. You check? So like when I try to tighten it, it like loose, and I managed to like get it tightened so that it could stay, but then it had me conscious about like transporting it, checking like by now if one of them fall over, it gonna leak and all them things. Managed to bring everything successfully without no issues and everything was good, but just some things that stood out to me. And like I say, I had liked the battles, but I'll probably go a different direction with the battles is concerned, which, like I say, done was a difficulty for me to source and get these as it is. But, anyways, yeah, that was that. So one thing I could say from this experience as well, I enjoy this model. I enjoy this event catering model, which even in my business plan, that is something that I had as part of the operations. So not just making the products and selling them retail, but also doing like things like this, like event catering. But bottom line, one thing that this week make me see, like I say, I like this model. I like how it went. I like doing like these caterings for events, even if it's just drinks. Honestly, we could do food too, but like this was nice because instead of like producing the product and hoping and waiting on a sale or having to go and market it and like let me say you make this amount of product and you're hoping you get everything sell and you're hoping you make the money and this and that, you're hoping you can make enough money to pay your people and all these type things. This model was, you get contracted, everything was planned out, everything was accounted for, everything was structured. You check. So literally I find myself at this event, like I say, when things was kind of wrapping up and winding down, I find myself going to the organizer and telling them, look, I don't know how or why, who gonna go with it, but I just would like for my coolers to be empty before I leave here. Since all these things I brought is already accounted for, is already basically paid for, I don't want to leave with none. You check? Yeah. I come here with them for RU. It's already paid for. So I want you go with it. Whether you distribute them or whatever. So that's basically what happened. The people who, let me say, was leaving, if they was interested in like a bottle of the juice or whatever, they could have grabbed one. And yeah, like I say, it worked out just that I went with not a thing. all three of my coolers was empty. And trust me, I come with some big coolers. Check. But yeah, like I would say this kind of opened my eye to another revenue or another revenue avenue, a business, like a business model or however you want to term it for Oliqui Farms. But like I say, it is something that I had in mind already because I know certain people, let me say maybe they have small events, maybe for their team or whatever, and maybe they want natural juices or want these different products. They could contact us for that too. You check? So yeah, sometimes we doesn't see the opportunity, but opportunity does be sometimes in the places we least expect, you know. So keep an open mind. Don't just say, okay, yeah, I can make this product, I can sell it, I can go get clients or customers to sell it to. You know, maybe they might have another model for you. Maybe you might be contracted to service government events or hotel events or whatever, you know, all of that. You know, so going back to what I expressed earlier, you know, I end up doing a little donation, a little give back. So basically, like you could see here in this picture, don't worry, I didn't burn up the bread. They had like whole wheat and white bread, you know. Basically what I did was this week, being as I was making these various products, one of our products have a byproduct of egg white, you know, so we just use the yolk. So a bunch of egg white just be left back, and I was self checking like for this order, it's a significantly big order. So I check in, you know what? These egg whites going to be like a byproduct. We should not waste them. Now, granted, beforehand we would do things like, let me say, maybe cook it up or maybe even cook it and feed it to the chicken. So kind of like circular economy type vibe. But yeah, like I said, chicken. I've been saying I want to do something like that, like a kind of feed the hungry type something, you know, people that in need of food, because I know they have a lot of people in that situation in the community in St. Maarten. So this isn't something that I had in mind that was a new thought. It was something I've been thinking about a while. From since I saying I want to scale up this product, I say, okay, I can have that as a byproduct. So do something to make use of that as well. You know, so long story short, I decided that being as I can have so much egg white left back, I'm going to do a donation to the schools. Initially, I was just saying I would do a donation to the less fortunate, anybody, you know, anybody in the community who hungry and needs something to eat. But in discussion with some friends of mine and, you know, some people, I was checking, you know what, it would be good for me to do the donation to the school because even during my campaign time, I had conversations with various teachers and, you know, like school employees, and they expressed to me the situation that a lot of the students them come in school hungry. You know, they don't have nothing to bring school. You know, they ain't got no bread or nothing at home that they could have bring school. They come in school hungry. They don't have no money to buy no food in the canteen and so on. So certain other teachers express that they just take it upon themselves to, like, you know, buy things for certain other students or, you know, do certain things to help these different students. So I think back on that and I say, you know what, it would be nice for me to do these sandwiches, give this donation to the school. So at least the students them got something in the stomach, you know, your belly full, you could actually pay attention in school, you could actually learn because you know your belly ain't bubbling while you're there trying to hear what the teacher's saying. You know? So bottom line, like I said, I did this donation, whereas I donated some sandwiches. Basically, I ended up with about 60. I was aiming for like at least 100, but I ended up only with 60, which was good, better than nothing for sure. And yeah, what I do, I buy bread. So I buy like a couple loaves of bread, and I actually bake the egg. So instead of like scrambling it or checking by, I could scramble it. That was my initial thought. But then I say again, like be falling out of the sandwich and all these type things. So I say, you know what, it's probably better I do it as a bake. Whereas I was given that suggestion by a friend, the friend of mine who actually organized this in the school for me. So yeah, long story short, Monday morning, I get up, I went do all this run around, do work with the team, get all of these prepared. Then Tuesday morning, I wake up early. I had to prepare these sandwiches to bring to the school. So wake up, get myself together, start preparing these sandwiches, put on multiple oven and start baking and prepare these sandwiches, get ready to go to the conference, jump in the Jeep, went by the school, drop off the sandwiches, and then head down to the conference. Then stay there for a while. I think after lunch, same ways, I left to go back, meet with the team to continue make the juices. And then, yeah, Wednesday morning, we went get coconut them fresh, chop them out, deal with the coconut water them fresh right there one time that morning. And then prepare everything. Like I said, put on the labels, make sure everything clean, wipe down, and then start packing them in the coolers and get ice. And once everything was accounted for and we packed everything, then it was like, okay, cool, good to go. We done. Just to go and deliver now. So honestly, when me and my partner went and delivered, that we put down them coolers, and I call the organizer, because we even reached before the organizer, we reached early before everybody to show you the check. And when we deliver, when we drop them thing off and checking like, okay, this is this, and then make it worse when I talk to the bartender partner and checking, okay, look, this is all what I got, this is that. I felt such a sigh of relief. Like I felt such a relief. I checking, okay, good. Now I could like actually enjoy life again. I could actually like, you know, yeah, that's a weight off my shoulders now. Like I said, then it was promotion, because then I was there marketing it and marketing myself and checking, yeah, it's me who make it, yeah, you like it, yeah, check it, taste it, yeah, check. But weight off your shoulders self for sure. But the donation for sure was a powerful thing too. I felt very good about it. You know, like truthfully, I ain't got no pictures or anything to show you, like, yeah, I went drop off these things to these children. Most I could tell you is I know I do it. The teachers know I do it. The students know I do it. To be totally honest, I did not have the time to even say I can stay there and take a picture to say, like, yeah, photo app, because I do this donation and, you know, yeah, I do this donation. So I want this picture to say, like, yeah, I do this donation. But yeah, I do that donation. I know it, God know it, the people involved know it, and that's all that matter. You check? Maybe next time when I do it, I might get a picture. But all I know, bottom line, I'm here to brag. I'm feeling myself at all about it. It's just heresy nowadays by doing God's work now. I doing what God put me here to do. So I can just try to do that the best of my ability. Check. So felt really good to do that. And like I said, I didn't need no picture. I didn't need all of that good stuff to say like, yeah, I do this. Nah. God bless, I do it. Not bragging, just gratitude. God bless. I feel good that I was able to provide that to the students and they enjoy it. Although I did put salt and pepper, one or two of them checking, yeah, I needed more salt and pepper, but other than that, the checking, the feedback I get was like, they enjoy it and yeah, all that good stuff. So yeah, we doing things, man. More to come. Check. One thing, success isn't only about money, it's about impact, So I feel like Oliver Williams and Oliqui Farms made a big impact this week past, and all I could do is give God thanks and praise for that. Check. Yeah, real talk. So lastly, I can just leave you, the entrepreneurs, with this message, speaking directly to you. Just keep pushing, stay consistent, deliver excellence, and take opportunities seriously. And I'm going to recap that one more time. Keep pushing, stay consistent, deliver with excellence, and take opportunities seriously. Look, if I didn't take this seriously, I would not be able to be here talking to you like this. You check? Just like how I talked about last week, a lot of people feel like nothing happening or maybe they ain't seen the fruits of the labor yet. So they feel like, they ain't growing, nothing ain't progressing, but opportunities already coming. You check? Just need to be prepared when it arrives. So God bless. This opportunity came to my plate and I was prepared for it. I made sure I had what I needed to have aligned, and I made sure I had my team behind me and we execute. Check. Preparation creates confidence, execution creates opportunities. Look, I execute and trust and believe this open doors. People will be reaching out, hopefully for more event caterings like this, but for sure people are going to be reaching out for our products nonetheless. And make it even better, we're working on trying to bolster our inter-island trade and inter-island connectivity. So once all of that going on, then look, products flying, crossing borders, going places. I tell her, we're going places now, we're doing things now. Every time I see my face in one of these pictures, I check in, yo, we're doing things, Hey, telling you, check. So with that being said, I can just leave a couple more of these pictures from this week. Like I say, it was a nice week. This was a nice picture with me and some of the different participants from the conference, some from Sabre, from here in Maarten as well, from Curacao, different people, different places. This is a picture of me with our Minister of TIAT, Grisha Heilager. Shout out Grisha one time. And Bernice Stoffer. Shout out Bernice one time. Bernice is counterpart from Holland who works with RVO. Let me just say, yeah, people with the money. But yeah, big things. I didn't expect to get called up on no stage and thing about, my products and thing, but I get called out and shout out and thing about, yeah, Oliqui Farms provide the drinks and beverages for the event and, support local, and we promoting local and locally made products and things that, it was like a farm to table event. So honestly, I executed and I got the memo and I executed flawlessly. You check. Even my Poncho Sualiga drink, I made them with local eggs I got from Joe, Arrowroot Farms. Big up Arrowroot one time. The passion fruit them also come from Joe Farm and from some by Kwame. And also I buy some in the shop too, but majority of them, the brunt of them was local. And yeah, all the coconut, every single coconut that went into this event was locally harvested. None of them come from away. Yes, in St. Maarten, we have our bags of coconut that have come from Santo mainly, which when I had my station open, which is opening back soon, I used to get the bags from there, which I ain't gonna lie, the coconuts them good, they sweet, they nice. Check, but it felt proud to say all the coconuts that went into this event come from right here in St. Maarten, local. A lot of them come from my grandmother yard self. You check, so yeah, we're doing things. So yeah, feel good to get recognized for what you're doing, for doing things, sticking to the program, and just realize both me and the minister got my product in we hand. Okay, good. Minister drinking my product. Okay, good. Yeah. But yeah, this was another picture from the last day. This was me and Ivan from Curacao. Another gentleman from Curacao in the back too. But Ivan is another farmer. I know, like, he doing great things. He got a big farm, couple hectares, doing like grafting, and he got animals and things, different things. Good stuff. This is a picture of like the whole delegation, everybody that participated. So both the St. Maarten, the teams from all the different places, whether Curacao, Aruba, Bonaire, Sabre, Statia, Holland, people from Dominica, from Jamaica, from St. Bart's, from all over the place, man. All over the place. And the idea is bringing people together, bringing these different islands together to bolster collaboration, regional collaboration, and strengthen ourselves and all that we're doing together. Unity is power. United, you stand, divided, you fall. So, and then yeah, check out this handsome fella here in the back here, but you can't see there, but this handsome fella. I had realized that day. Okay, no, Patrick just kill what we're going to say. I check in, I was the only man in there wearing a hat that day, boy. I check in by Oliver, you such a different youth, boy. But anyways, yeah, some pictures of the event and thing. You buy here. In it. Serious. We serious about we thing. You check? Yeah. A fella there, serious about he thing. Look, that fella right there, serious about he thing, Watch out. Okay, good. Don't play with that. Don't play with that at all. You check? So, in closing, because yeah, I done with all this. About to wrap up. Closing, I gotta say, this week reminded me of why I started like I always tell now you, why consistency matters. Because if I didn't stay consistent, they would not choose me for this. You check why preparation matters, because trust me, if I didn't put together the plan, put together the calculations and the budget and all those things, I probably would be out of luck. Fish out of water, set. And why execution matters. Like a lot of us to start things but don't finish, but execute. We have to finish what we started. We have to do what we say we're going to do. You check. When you finish, you just get this feeling of happiness. You just get this feeling of like trust, feeling of relief for sure. Like I do it. Maybe I thought I would not do it, but do it. And yeah, this was a great experience for sure. Honestly, it wasn't just about beverages. It wasn't just about like this conference. To me, it was proof that when you keep showing up, opportunities start showing up too. You know, and I could say that in different avenues as well, not just in this avenue, but for sure, all I could do is give God praise, give Him thanks and worship, because without Him, this would not be possible. You know, saying this sounding like somebody winning a Grammy or something, like winning an award, but it's still like the feeling is like just so immense and so great that all I could do is give God thanks and praise and just tell you, keep pushing and execute with excellence. I always tell her that like it ain't just me executing, you too. Check. So keep it up, keep pushing, and trust and believe. One day can come when you're going to see the fruits of your labor. You're going to see the benefits and the reward that what you have to offer, what you offering or what you providing could give you. So yeah, like I say, execute with excellence, do your thing. This has been episode 57. Let's talk business. I had to really talk about the intricacies, the behind the scenes, the things them that people don't see. You check? I had to come on here and share with her because I had to keep it real with you. I had to keep it real with her all the time. You see, I share even my hurdles, the things that I faced this week. That, bye, bye. I ain't even know. I ain't even know. Just know it's blessings and love. Nothing can stop we, not even we own self. You know, what God ordained, nobody can shift, nobody can change, nobody can shake, nobody can flip, nobody can do nothing to it. Check. So all I could do is give God thanks and praise and worship and appreciation for everything. So I say that to say, like I say, keep pushing, don't give up, whatever it is. Just like I told you last week, you're closer than you think. You check. Just like I told you last week, don't give up. Keep pushing. You might feel like things ain't working out or you don't see no headway, but you will be surprised. You have to look back and reflect on how far you come, you'll be surprised of where you stand now. Check. But yeah, all that being said, all I could say after that is go out and conquer. Go out and conquer this world this week. Grab life by the hands. Don't leave it bring you down and knock you down. You gotta grab that bull by the hands and just ride it straight to the peak of the mountain, the top, at the tip of the top. Ride it straight to the top of that mountain and stand up there checking. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, we do that. Yeah, don't leave nothing keep you back now. Don't leave nothing stop you. Keep pushing. Execute. Check. Yeah. Grab life by the hands. And with that, I just want to say I wish you a blessed and productive week ahead. I hope, I pray that all that you put your hands to is crowned with success, is anointed and covered and kept by the grace of God. So check. And I wish so for myself too, for sure. I pray that God hold me up in his bosom, hold me in his hands, and guide me and direct me down the right path. Which I feel like an aunt, but we can't lean on our own understanding. Just gotta trust in him. Check. So yeah, I give you a nice breakdown, show you the real of the situation. And yeah, this was episode 57. Let's talk business. I appreciate you for taking your time and being here with me for another week. If this was good for you, if you like what I say, if anything resonates with you or you feel like it resonates with anybody you know, like, share, subscribe, comment, do all of that good stuff, all of that YouTube and social media stuff, all of it. Tout le monde, bagay, todo. Whatever language you speak, else. All of it. Check. Do all of it. Do one, then do the next, then do the next one till you done do all of it. Yeah. Straight. Check. And yeah, with that said, this has been episode 57 of the All Over It podcast, where we always uncovering it all. Catch me here next week, Monday, same place, same time, where we going to uncover some more. But yeah, wish you a blessed week ahead. And catch you here next week for the next episode, where we going to be right here with it. Love alone, my people. Blessed week ahead.